I'm Alex Parrott. I'm the president of the Lake George Historical Association. And so this is great that Tom is here. This is your second visit with us. I'm sure everybody knows Tom Porter, so I'll just read a little introduction for Tom. He's been the founder, spokesperson, and spiritual leader of the Mohawk Community of, you're going to have to pronounce the name, yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Located in the Mohawk Valley near Fonda, New York, right? Mm-hmm. Since 1993. He's a member of the Bear Clan of the Mohawk Nation at Akwesasne.
Yeah.
Akwesasne. Yeah. Okay, good. You can tell I've worked on this. And it's also known as the St. Regis Mohawk Reservation. So with that, I'm not going to get into more introduction and let you take it from here, Tom.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Mostly all Iroquois people, when they have a ceremony or something like that, and they talk to the people, they stand up. That's what they do. It's a form of respecting the people and respecting the Creator and respecting the Mother Earth and all the people. That's why they stand up. Even real old ones, some 100 years old, they still stand up as long as they can. So I'm going to stand up. I just wanted to make a mention to you all. I've been talking to young people a little bit, and where I come from, Akwesasne, we're very colonized, but we're also traditional pockets there that held on to the knowledge of the old people, irregardless of whatever happened through the years. And sometimes our own people attack us because they were colonized and they followed the European way. And for some reason, they don't like us or because of our belief system. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes our own people were more mean than the European were mean because they're trying to be European or white people, and they can't, so they get mean, and they were mean to us. But that has changed now. It's not like that too much anymore, because when I was a young guy, I was just a kid, and then I started to get a little bigger, and so the elder people said, we can't argue our own cousin, our own family blood. Even though they're mean to us, we're not to fight back, not to argue them. And so, because someday they'll wake up. Someday they'll wake up and they'll embrace again the things that the Creator gave us. And so we had to bite the bullet a lot of times when we got ridiculed. And hopefully they will wake up one day. And so that's 70 years ago or more. And so we began to, under our leadership of our certain elders, we began to socialize back to tradition wherever the opportunity present itself. Not all in one dose, here, there, until slowly, till they come to understand. And once they understand, then usually, probably 90% or more, they want to embrace it. They want to embrace it. So right now, after all those years, because when I was a young boy, there was only just a handful of elder people. They were still believing in our ceremony and our way. The rest had all go the other way. But now today, so when I go into the longhouse, 70 years ago, there was only a handful, barely old people able to run the ceremony. And all the young was gone to college, high school, relocation program in Chicago, New York, California, on relocation, government program to assimilate us. So that's what happened to us. So all young were gone. They weren't there to learn from the elders. So when the elders is going to pass away, because relocation program nobody, when they die, it's going to be gone forever. And some Indian in the United States and Canada have become almost extinct, linguistically, spiritually, and everything that really our identity was gone. So I'm going to share with you some of those things, teachings. The first one I want to show you, don't get mad though. First thing, when I first seen that right there, that skeleton thing, when I was a little boy, our grandma and our elders won't let us do that, to put a skeleton on the ground. I don't care if it's Halloween or not. They said, you don't do that. You're supposed to respect the dead, not play with them. And if you put that skeleton stuff on your yard, you open the door to the other world, and it's going to come, it can bother you and make a problem. Even a death can occur in your family. So the real traditional people, I don't care if it's Lakota people or Hopi, they never do that. That's just an American thing. And that's why we don't want to do that. So I shared that with you. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying the reasons why the real traditional Iroquois, you never see that on their house or their yard. I'll just share that with you. The other one is there's what we call, I don't know, maybe some of you have seen it, but the Freedom School we have started over 40-something years ago. We started in 1979. And I was one of the first parents of several that started the school. And New York State threatened to put us in a jail because we made a school. They didn't want us to have a school because when the Indian goes to school, the money comes from the federal government because of the treaty and also the state. So Indian goes to school, gets paid twice more than American people because of the treaty stuff. So when the kids didn't go to school and go to our school, all the non-native people surrounding the reservation got real mad because they're losing thousands of dollars because of the Freedom School. So they said they're going to put us in a jail, take us to court in Malone, New York. And we will go to a family court, our family service court, and our parents will be, and we will be proclaimed unfit parents because our kids are truant from the regular school. And the school we have is not legal according to the state of New York or United States. And so the people in Malone and Fort and the different places that belongs to Salmon River School and whatever, I guess petition. They made a petition to stop and to put pressure on Como, not the young Como, the old Como, the old one, and to put pressure on us and make us do it. So they brought the petition here to Albany, I guess. And the old man Como, he says, I'm not going to touch the Mohawks with a 10-foot pole. That's what he told them. No, you're in a lot of trouble. You bother the Mohawk, you're going to get a lot of trouble. I'm not going to touch him with a 10-foot pole. So he stopped, sort of stopped it. And so the school is still going. Yeah, since 79. And they just built a new school. They're not even in the school yet. Me and other young guys, we were young that time, we used saw and hammer, and we built that school where they go to school now. And so now, but it's a kind of old building and whatever, so we built a new school on the other end of our Mohawk territory. It's got 10 rooms in there, big classrooms. And it's got electricity and it's got shower. For the first time, our kids are going to have a school just like American people has, where there's going to be shower and there's going to be cafeteria and all that for the first time. And it's really a miracle. And that school is not sponsored by New York State or Canada or United States or the federal of Canada. It's an endeavor of our families. We have spaghetti dinners, we have raffles, we got all kind of ways to try to. People make quilts, and every year we have a big quilt auction, and that's how we run the school. It's really grassroots, people, grassroots. And I just wanted to mention to you that part. And so now those kids that went to school at kindergarten, and that school is all Mohawk immersion, all day long, every day, from the little tiny one to the bigger. It only goes to about the 9th grade now. It used to only go to 7th, but family wanted to go further, so it goes to the 9th grade now. Then after that, they go to Massena School or Fort Covington School, centralized school. And all of them have done really well. And when they came home the first time report card time come, they were on honor roll, over half of them. And the other Mohawks who condemned us and said, if you send your kids to that freedom school, you're going to have dummies. And when my daughters came home for the first time, they had to go to high school, never went to an American school before. And one daughter was on honor roll on her report card. The other daughter missed it by 1 point. And I pretty much cried because we were told that our kids are going to be dummies because we have our own school completely in Mohawk, and the curriculum is complete Mohawk, everything. And we took a lot of ridicule from our own people and the state. And then when my daughters got report card on honor roll and the other one missed it by half a point or 1 point, I took my report cards to my kids, and I go see my aunt and my uncles and all my cousins. I say, see this? See how dummy my kids are? Show me your report card. None of them's on honor roll. It was so wonderful that we can, if we can find the strength and the courage, we can do it. Colonization is very powerful. If you get colonized, you're almost not free to think. To be free, you're always like in a jailhouse. Not physically, but psychologically and emotionally, you see. Yeah. But anyway, I just want to share that with you. That's a positive, very positive thing. The next one that I want to share with you is this one. I think if you'll help me, this one. The reason I said that about Freedom School is we have spiritual talk that we have, and I don't know, some people says it's a opening prayer. Some people call it a Thanksgiving. Some just say Thanksgiving address. And I don't know exactly if it's right or wrong when you say that in English. But in my language, we call it Ohondo Gaihodekma. And when you translate that word for word, it don't mean prayer, it don't mean Thanksgiving, it don't mean none of that. But when you say those others, it's not wrong, but it's not fully explained what it means when you say Ohondo Gaihodek. Ohondo means in the front of it or before it. Galiwa is like issues, there are important matters or issues. And Dekwa means what you got to say before you discuss issues or matters of importance. So our leaders of our nation, when they have a meeting, they have to do that. That opens legally their meeting, spiritually and legally. And then when they're done, they got to do it again. So the issue and matters are like a bologna and the two bread. Creator on one side and creator on the other side.
Everything in the middle is bologna.
Everything in us are bologna. Bob Hope could hire you. Yeah. So that's what it really means. What you say before an important issue or matter, what you have to say. And it usually takes about an elder, real elder, usually can take 1 hour to do that, just to open it. But you never, ever, while he's talking, look, how come he's taking so long? Because those old men were orators. And when they talked, you don't think nothing about looking at your watch, because they would make it come alive, their oratory. You could, when they talk about fire, you could feel the heat. If they're talking about food, you can smell the food cooking. That's how powerful, because they were orators. Yeah. And so you never said it was too long. Never. You might see some young people doing it now because they don't understand the language anymore. So they've lost. But the one I usually do is maybe take about 20 minutes or half hour. But I always do the Reader's Digest form. But I can do the old one too for an hour if you want it. But I just want people to understand it. So I'm going to ask you to help me. And when I ask you to help me, every once in a while, as I do one thing, I don't even know what you call it. I call it one thing. And I say, and our mind is agreed. Then when you hear me say that, you say toe, like the toe on your feet. Yeah. And that's the old Mohawk way formally of saying, yes, I agree. Toe. Yeah. And my uncle and grandma used to say, when you hear the elders say, and our mind is agreed, don't go toe. Say toe. So the tree will hear you. So the deer's going to hear you. So the wind's going to hear you. So the sun will hear you. So everything that lives will hear you. And when everything sees you and hear you, that's the Creator hearing you. So don't just say, oh. Make sure you're proud you're alive. Yeah. So, and I always tell people, when we say Creator or the God, the English to the Mohawk, our language we say Songwaya Dison. Can y'all say it? Songwaya Dison. That means He's the one who made us. That's what it retranslates to mean. He's the one who made us. Yeah. But I also tell people about it too. I think I was around 10 or 11 or 12 years old. I don't remember how old I was, but I was just a young guy, young boy. And I had a great-grandfather. That was my grandmother's uncle. My grandmother's. And if my grandma was living, she'd be 135 now. So this man was her mother's brother. That was her uncle. This man I'm talking about. And I got to know him because he passed away when I was around 19 or 20. So I got to know some old people. And he went to the Carlisle School in Pennsylvania. As my mother's father went there too. And this little boy, my grandma's uncle, his name was Paul Biro. But his Mohawk name was Aluhia Daoku. And did you ever see sometime a cloud just like that, and then the sun is shining, and it looks like a flashlight shine between the cloud, like rays? Well, that's it's like a bursting sky. Well, that's what Aluhia Daoku means. My great-grandpa's name was that, the bursting sky. Yeah. And so somehow a man came from, I don't know if it was Princeton or Yale or Harvard or the big fancy school. And he was looking for my great-grandfather. So, and I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, and but my grandfather's deaf. He can't hear. If you really holler loud, maybe he might catch one syllable. And maybe the rest he won't hear, he won't understand. But because he went to Carlisle, he could read and write a little bit. So I would write big letters on paper. And then he had a magnifying glass. Play had thick glasses, play had magnifying glass. So he takes the paper, go like this, till he's almost blind. And when he understands what I ask him, when I write something on the paper, He'd go like, he was so happy. He'd jump up and he'd dance a little bit. And he was so happy. He understood what you're asking him. And then, so that man from, I don't know, Princeton or Yale or Harvard or where, I don't know where, asked him the question, when you native people say God or Creator, exactly how do you define that? What do you mean when you say that? What does that mean to you? And here's what the old great-grandfather said. Well, he said, I'm going to try to tell you. He said you have to recruit maybe 200-300 people to help you, and you allow yourself 200 or 300 years in order to undertake this task. And he says, now if you can do that, you have to count every human being in the whole world, of every nation, the whole world. Even the baby that was just born a minute ago has got to put on there. Then you got to count every river, every lake, and every ocean, all the world. Then you got to count every fish that's in all the waters of the world. Then you got to count every deer, muskrat, and beavers, and all kind of animal, big and small, in the whole world. And don't miss one that's born just a minute ago. Then you got to count that every time it rained since the beginning of time, the thunder, lightning. Then you got to count every bird that flies the whole world. Then you got to count every star in the night sky. Then he said, after 200 or 300 years, if you think that you have recorded and jotted down every life, now you draw a line on the bottom, like at the general store, and the sum of all that life, that's the sum is called Creator or God. So all life in the universe is the God and the Creator, including us too. So that means that in you and you and you and me, as well as the birds out there and the deers out there, they're all part of the God. We're all made in the image of God, not just humans. Deers, birds, trees, grass, water, everything that's life is in the image of the Creator. I thought that was wonderful. I mean, I was a little boy and I still said, wow. I'm so glad I was his interpreter. I learned something again, because I never thought that way, and I wanted to share that with you. Because when we do this opening address, when we say Creator, we're not talking about a man. We're talking about a power that's bigger than the whole universe. And it's so powerful, my grandmother said, that the Creator never shows himself the way he really is or she really is, whatever that is, that power, to you or me. Because if we were to see the Creator, how really that Creator is, for a split second, it's too powerful. We die right here. It's so powerful that we can't. So that's why Mohawks and Cheyenne and all people in the whole world that are indigenous, the real indigenous, whenever they have spiritual messages, it's always buffalo talk to them in their dream or vision, or maybe even tree talk to them, or the wind talk to them, or the birds talk to them. Because what Grandma said, he can't talk to us, too powerful. See, he always sends something else to give us the message, because he don't want to hurt us. And that's, if you check all the Indian people and all indigenous people, the whole world over, the real ones, they'll tell you the same thing. Yeah. So with that, we'll start now. So now, I received an invitation quite some time ago to come here to Lake George, this building right here. And so I wrote it down in my book so I don't double date. You guys make sure I'm going to be here. So, and the same thing, the invitation went out to you too. to come here to be together. Me, I came over 200 miles, almost 200, a little over 200 miles, I believe, through the big road, big truck going by fast. Sometime deer almost coming on the road, but I didn't hit the deer, and the deer didn't hit me. The truck didn't hit me. Same with you. You came here, nothing stone on your path to trip you up and you'll fall down and get hurt. So all of you came here safely. And so we're all good health, except for Kay's father. He's 104. She's supposed to be here with me, but he had a heart problem, so she took him to hospital because he's 104 now. So I said, Kay, don't worry about it. I'm talking, you'll be here with me. Okay, she said. So Kay is my old partner for many years. Yeah. When I can't do something, she does it. When I can't, and she can't do it, I do it. Yeah. So what we'll do now, you and I, is we put many thank yous in front of us, many greetings, and many love and compassion, kindness. We multiply it. And you and I, we pick it up and we throw it high into the universe. And we say, Creator, thank you that you give us safe journey here. There's good people here gathered. Creator, with love, we say thank you for our safe journey and our good health. Even if it's not perfect health, we're still good enough to keep going. We thank you, Creator, and our mind is agreed. Then our Creator also made the earth, and He said that the earth is going to be our mother. And our uncle and our grandmother said, when the Creator chose the earth to be the mother, the woman, the mother, He had lots of selection He could have done, but He chose the earth to be the mother because she's strong and she will never give up. And so she's the mother of all of us. And she's the mother of all the animals and all the birds. She's the mother of the grass that grows every day in the summertime. She's the mother of the rivers that flow and oceans. And so Creator said, you will give birth to all life, not just humans. So that's how we got here. That's how the baby deer got here. And then when they are born, those lives, you will take them and feed them from your body. You will nurse them. So that's where the corn and beans and turnips and onions comes from the garden. That's our mothers nursing us every day. Morning, noon, supper time, in between snack. It all came from our mother, the earth. Since the beginning of time, not just for you and I, our great-grandparents and their great-grandparents, all through these thousands of years. And our mother, the earth, never faltered. And my uncle said, sometime humans desecrate and rape our mother, the earth, by drilling way down in her innards. But even though some of the people do that, she never got angry with us humans to throw us away or abandon us because she loves us. Even though they have raped her, she never got angry enough. She's always our mother. And so our grandmother said, that's how come we will put our thank yous and our greetings and our love together. And you and I will pick it up and gently give it to the earth, who is our mother. And we say, Mother Earth, we are your children today at this time. We say thank you to you and hello to you with love. And our mind is agreed. And then he says also that the Creator, Uncle and Grandma said, and our leaders at our longhouse since I was growing up, told us that when the Creator made the water, sometime he says the snow comes top of the mountain, on top of the hills, and then it'll melt. Or if it don't snow, then it's rain come on top of the hill in the mountain. And it comes down the mountain in the valleys. where we live, where our little villages are, as those creeks and streams and rivers pass where we live. You and I and our kids, we go fetch water there to drink it, to quench our thirst. And we get that water to cook food so our family can eat. And when we're real dry and thirsty, that water from that creek and rivers and lakes quenches our thirst, so that there's hope that we will live again tomorrow. And so those rivers, they said, our elders told us that the Creator and the Mother Earth touched that water and talked to that water in the creek and the river. And he said, I give you a soul and a spirit to the water. I give you a job to do from the top of the mountain to the hills. You will go to every village, every town, every community, every animal's community, and you will quench their thirst every day. Then our life will live. And so my uncle says, if you have a hard time to conceive that concept, I don't know if I've said it right, that if you catch it, what is meant. He says that water is talking. So if you see a creek and it goes through the stones as it's coming down the hill, you'll hear it whispering nice, soft words like a little baby. But that water can also roar like a lion and a big bear. All you got to do is go to Niagara Falls and you'll see him roar, that water. In fact, if you go close, the power of that Niagara River as it yells and roars is almost say, come jump in. You have a hard time not to do that. But if you do, you probably won't come back. That's how powerful it is. And so that water has never reneged what the Creator told them. And so that's why I ask you and I, we put it many thank yous, layers, greetings and love. And then north, east, south, and west, we throw it to every creek and every river and every ocean, every lake, because they're still quenching our thirst today. And so to the waters of the world, your human relative says thank you with love today, and our mind is agreed. It is also that our Creator, too, in the beginning when the world was new, He made a strawberry, of course, in our story of creation, when our great-great-grandmother came from another planet in the solar system. And that planet is called Galunghiaki. And Seneca has different dialect, but they say it exactly the same as I do. Onondagas has a different dialect, and they say that too, the same I do. All the Iroquois nations have the same word for it, even though we have different dialects. But that word, because it's a universal truth, never changed. And so from that world where our great-great-grandma came to begin life here on the planet Earth, she brought with her strawberries and raspberries and blackberries. She brought it here with her. And that's why when we have ceremony amongst Haudenosaunee people, we always have to have strawberry drinks there. Always. Because that reaffirms our life. And so, we say to all of the things that grows, the food, the corn and the beans and the squash, we call them the three sisters, the sacred sisters. They're the leaders of the domesticated things that grow in a garden. They're the leaders. So Haudenosaunee, we've got songs to sing, we call it food songs, for the corn and the beans and the squash. So when we plant, every time when we go to the garden, you'll hear our young people singing their song. It's just like if you have your grandma, you go see her, your grandma, and you sing for her, she's happy. The same as the corn and the beans is happy when they do that. They grow big and lots of food. And so to all of those gardens, and then there's another garden that you don't plant it. There's a wild potatoes and wild onions, we call them leeks. A lot of those. Wild turnips, wild potato, you don't have to plant it. Creator plant it and Mother Earth plant it. So no matter what we do, there's always a food there if you know what you're doing. And our old people knew what they were doing. And so to all the vegetation, even the trees, of all the trees, the maple tree was chosen to be the chief tree of all the trees, different kind of tree, because its sap begin to flow when the snow melts, the first one to wake up, make a sweet maple syrup for our food and our strawberry drink. And from that tree comes the apples and the oranges, the plums and the pears and the banana, all kind of things, pecan nut, walnut, hickory nut, for the squirrels, chipmunks, and you and me. And if it get cold in the winter time, big snow and cold wind, we take the fallen branches and we make a fire so our old people, they won't get cold and our children will be warm. And when we need to burn the sacred tobacco, the wood that fell, it will raise our words to the universe. And so to all vegetations, medicines, berries, woods, trees, we send it, thank you, greetings and love, and our mind is agreed. And then there is also, this is the one I always tell people all the time, it's my favorite. Of course it's all favorite, but this one is particular favorite. That's when I talk to my grandkids. When I see my grandkids, I said, grandson, you're my number one. Then I see another grandson, oh, you are my number one. And I see my you're my number one. So they're all my number one. Yeah. And that's the way it is with the things that the Creator gave us. It's everything number one. And so my grandmother said, at the beginning when the world was new, the Creator said, that's why I like it, the best one, I want you, each of you humans, even he said to animals too, and sometimes you'll see animals do it. I want to see each of you human people. I want to see you be happy. A miminal, is that what I right say? Miminal? I thought I was saying a fish, the little fish. Minimal. Yes. 3 times per day, I want to see you smile, to see your teeth from ear to ear. Real laugh, and have joy. A minimum of 3 times per day. And Grandma said, and if you can't do that, then you missed the whole reason why you were born. You shouldn't have been born if you can't do that. Because the Creator don't want you to walk around the Mother Earth with your bottom lip hanging down and you trip over it in sadness and grief. That's not why you're born. So pull your lip up. And He wants to see I told Grandma one time, I think you're talking about that Colgate smile. She didn't know what I'm talking about. And then she says, that's how come the birds, the Creator made the birds, and He put all kind of nice colors on their feathers. So as you and I walk the Mother Earth, where our head is, the birds zoom by with all beautiful colors. So we see the great beauty the Creator made the world. And then He called the robin, and He gave the robin a song to sing. And He called the chickadee, and He taught the chickadee how to sing different songs. And He called the mourning dove, and He gave him a song to sing. And all the birds has a different rhythm and a different tune. And then He chose the eagle to be the chief of all the birds. That's why you see all native people, indigenous people here in North America, when we go to ceremonies or some kind of ceremony, our men and women, they'll put an eagle's feather on their hair or on their hat, because it's the highest, closest bird to the universe. And then the Creator finished that, and here's what He said to all the birds. Your job is to get up before the sun shines his face in the east every morning. And as soon as the dawn comes before the sunshine, all you birds are going to get up and you're going to face the east and you're going to start singing all your songs to welcome old brother's sun on a miraculous new day. And when the humans and the animals and the bears hear you singing, you birds, every morning, you will shake their mind so that boredom and lonesomeness will not find a home in their body, but they will hear the joy of this sacred earth. And so, to the birds still fly, even in the coldest winter, in any summer, you have to get up before the sun and you'll hear them. Nobody can match their beautiful songs. And every day I almost see eagles. That's the president, big chief of them. And so we put thank you, greetings, and love right here. You and I will pick it up north, south, east, and west, and we send it. Our thank you, our greetings, and our love to every bird that flies in that sky. We say thank you, and our mind is agreed. And then it is also to the four wind that changes the seasons. And my grandmother used to say there's the four wind are twin boys, two sets of twins. And some of my relatives had two sets of twins. Yeah. And I never heard my cousin complain either that she had two sets of twins. I heard Loretta Lynn say that though. In that song she sang, remember? I hope it's not twins again. But my cousin never said that. Even if she had a third set, that was a gift. And so, that four wind, Grandma said, when our mother gets tired of giving birth, of nursing all of us, and Grandma said, if you men know that when a woman is pregnant for 9 months, she carries a big load. There's a lot of changing going on in her body with mood changes because of that extra load. And then when she's got to give birth, there are some women that don't make it, and the baby don't make it either. Well, most do, but it's very hard to do that. Then after she gives birth, if she makes it, which most do, then every little while she's got to put him here, that baby, all through the night and all through the day, gets real tired to feed that little baby. So can you imagine Mother Earth, if one woman gets so tired from one baby? Mother Earth has to give birth to millions and millions of life, not just us. And she has to feed us too. So she gets tired. So Grandma said that the wind of the north and the east, they loved their grandma too. So when they see her, she got exhausted and tired, the north and the east wind bring a white blanket of snow and covers the Mother Earth so she can rest from her exhaustion because they love her. And then after so long, Mother Earth has rested, then from the south and the west, another twin brothers, seeing she's rested enough, gently comes and removes the white blanket of snow. And then there's wall-to-wall green grass grow everywhere on Mother Earth, and flowers of every color and every fragrance. Little baby Mohawks are born. Little baby English, little baby French are born. Little baby squirrel born. Little baby robin hatch from the eggs, and life goes on. And that's the job of the four sacred wind. And so because of that, we put in front of us, thank you, greetings and love. North, south, east, and west, we send it. Thank you to the wind that bring the changing of the seasons that we may live, and our mind is agreed. And then it is also to the western sky, that's where our grandma and grandpa said, is we call them Itisotogun aladiwelas. Itisotogun means our grandparents, the thunder. But they say the thunder are only that big. They don't get big. And I asked my uncle and grandma that one time, how come they're so small? Well, she said, just like a dynamite, it's a little package, but it can blow up big things. They always had a good answer. Yeah. But I'm going to just sit down a little bit, I think. But anyway, then they told us, oh, I remember this too. My grandmother had a pipe. It's called a thunder pipe. And she had this always. All old people have this. No old people, they all have this bag. In there, sacred tobacco. And Grandma had it, and Ira Benedict, he was our leader in my clan. He was a leader, Kondo leader, for over 60 years or more when he passed away. That was Kay Olin's grandpa's brother. Yeah, his name was Ira Benedict. He wasn't too tall, but I was his bench warmer, so when he got deaf, they put me up to take his place. But every time I'm meeting, I have to go to his house on Cornwall Island and report to him what happened at the meeting and so on. So I used to go to his house, and it was cloudy, to report to him. Then all of a sudden, bang, you hear the thunder. And he'd jump up and he'd start dancing around, and he said, oh, he said, our grandfathers come to visit us. He says, he's talking about the thunders. Hurry up, he says, and he goes to his cupboard. He takes the bag out, and he's got a thunder pipe too. He said, come, help me. So we went to the door. He opened the door in his house. He stood in the door, and he took his pipe, and he put tobacco in there, and he's even tears coming down his face. He's so happy. He said, Grandpa Thunder, thank you. You didn't forget us in Akwesasne, where we live. Thank you. You bring a new water to put in the river, fresh water. Thank you, Grandpa Thunder. In the creeks, the little creeks, you put a new water in there. Thank you, Grandpa Thunder. You give a drink of strawberries and the raspberry garden and everything that grows in our garden. Oh, Grandpa Thunder, thank you. Everything's going to grow now. So he put that in, he lighted up. He said, Grandpa, pull this sacred smoke. In there is my thank you and my greetings and my love that you didn't forget us. And that's how he would talk. And that's how my grandmother does it too, same thing. And that's the way I did it for my kids. That's the way I did all my grandkids and great-grandkids. So when the thunder come, we all sit with that thunder pipe and we greet them. Yeah. And so to the thunders, we said thank you with love. Today in our mind is agreed. It is also our grandma, the moon. And our elders, our grandma and our mother told us that every woman, 28 to 30 days is cycle. And when the blood has to leave, it's impure blood. And our new blood is made. And that new blood is like she said, that means I will give you an example about that monthly. When the old blood goes and new blood is made, it's like a new bed, soft bed every woman has. And on that soft bed, a little baby can begin their journey to life. That's what she said. That's the job of the moon. That's why every moon, every woman, no matter who it is, black, white, pink, purple, Grandma Moon said, get ready, ladies. You're going to get ready. That's where babies gets to be born. And so we say to our grandmother, thank you for our life. We were born, our children's life, our grandkids and great-grandkids, they were born. Grandma Moon, we said thank you to you, and our mind is agreed. Oh. And then this other one is, we call it our Regis Mohawk it means the stars were put in the sky. And those stars are there to tell us if there's going to be a big winter snow coming this winter. Some of our elders can read that star, and they can talk to the star, and they'll tell them if the winter is going to be big snow, cold, ahead of time, way ahead, so we can get ready for it. And during the winter, some of our elders can talk to the stars, and the stars going to tell them if they're going to be a wet summer or drought, so they get ready ahead of time. So my grandmother and my elders said, the Creator never just throw us here with no plan. Everything is in the nature to tell you what's going to happen, so you're always ready. And that's the job of the elders, is to know all that and to pass that to the next generation. So to the stars, and then my uncle said, even if we became colonized, which many of our people has, hopefully we're not blind. So when we look at night in the stars, how beautiful it is. No artist in the world could paint or draw a better picture than what the Creator did when He put the stars in the universe at nighttime. And that stars, and my uncle said, if our young men go hunting long ways and they come home and it gets dark on them, they don't have to worry. All they got to do is look at the stars and it'll tell them how to get home. Yeah. And even my grandmother said the stars in the drought time, dry time, summer, the stars are the ones that put a morning dew on each blade of grass in the dry time of summer, so everything will live. But I also want to share with you what Grandma said too in that regard. She said sometime there's a fog or a mist, big fog, hard to see. And she said, never complain about it. Don't you complain about it. Because that's the time when our Creator and our Mother Earth are being intimate together, so babies can get born. Life can be renewed. So don't you complain about that. They're giving you good life. That's how come you're born. I thought that was pretty nice too. Yeah. So next time you see a fog, don't bother them.
They're busy.
You know what I'm talking. He's pointing. Anyway, the stars, they're still doing their job and they're still beautifying everything. And so you and I, we put it here, many thank yous, many greetings, and many love. And we throw it into the universe. We say thank you with love to the stars, and our mind is agreed. And then there were 4 sacred beings. All our elders said, these 4 sacred beings is the one that's in the east and the north and the west and south. And those 4 sacred beings don't have no body. They don't have no face either. It's like the wind. Don't have a body, don't have a face. But when the wind comes, you can feel it. Make your hair stand up. Can blow you off the sidewalk too if you wanna, if you don't watch out. Well, that's the way those 4 sacred beings are. So those 4 sacred beings were created by the Creator, creation. They're the ones that helps our Creator so that the constellation of stars in the universe don't collide and they destroy everything. They watch to make sure that don't happen. Those 4 sacred beings are the ones that tell the geese how to go to Georgia and Florida when it gets cold in the north, and how, so they don't get lost. They're the ones that guide them. And when they're there long enough, that 4 sacred being is the one telling you it's time to go back to New York and Canada and not to get lost. They're guided. Same with the fish in the oceans. They do the same thing. And those 4. And sometime when we humans forget our teachings our original teachings, and now calamity and disruption comes to our society and our community, then that Creator sends one of those four sacred beings to be born as a baby to remind us and put us back on the trail of our spiritual path. And so that's how come the Haudenosaunee people, we still doing everything we're supposed to be doing. We're trying the best we can. But even me, I'm colonized too. I try to free myself of it, and I have pretty much, but they're still deep in. I don't think it'll ever stop. It's like a man or a woman who was raped. They may get better and everything, but they'll never forget the scars of it. And that's what colonization is doing to the people. And it's not just Mohawks or Cheyennes or Abenaki people. It's Irish and Polish and Czechoslovakian and Irish, because all of you guys were colonized 3,000 years ago before we were. Us, we only 300 years colonized. So in our DNA, all the teaching of the original is just close. But for Europe, because you were colonized 3,000 years ago, it's further down the DNA to be reawakened. And so the message is that my elders told us when I was a kid, a day is going to come, and I'll say it in Mohawk the way they said it when I was a little boy. That's what they said. That means the day will come when our children, our grandchildren will talk and the world will listen to them. So what that means is that the majority of the people in the world were colonized, and their original indigenous teachings is the same as mine, whether it's Irish or Polish, it was all the same. We all had a moon dance. We all had thunder dance. We all had sun dance. But somehow kings and queens took over the world, and they quit now sun dance. They quit thunder dance. All the things that make us live. They said it's paganism not to believe that. And the biggest one in England was Joan of Arc. They cut her head off because she's a big witch, they said. But she followed the spiritual. Yeah, so now the world is in danger. Science knows it. And they don't stop polluting the rivers, the lakes, and the oceans. They don't stop polluting the air that our kids need it and our grandkids need it. Somehow, so that's what I think that old people said, our grandchildren will talk to, and so it's come true. Our leaders who are gone to Geneva, Switzerland, talking to the United Nations, New York City, United Nations. I never thought that would ever be, but it did happen. And that's why I come to talk to you today too. So someday myself and my people has to forgive everybody that did atrocities to us and try to make us become extinct. And we've got to forgive, and we've got to try to reconnect with all the things in the universe that supports our life and give them thanks. And so to our Creator, for this nice group of people here, we say thank you that you let us come together. Maybe that we can put our unity together for our kids and grandkids. And maybe we can observe again the sun and be grateful again to the Mother Earth who gave us life. Because if the sun should ever go out, we all go out. That's why we keep dancing for the sun, called sun dance. That's why we got thunder dance. We don't want the Grandpa Thunder stop renewing the waters that will quench the thirst of our kids. So we keep thunder dance. And so maybe we can join together to do that, the whole world again. as it was in the beginning. And so with that, we say thank you to our Creator, and our mind is agreed. And that's the Reader's Digest of how our elders do it. But I also wanted to tell you, this tobacco here, this tobacco was a gift from our Creator when the world began, when humans first were created. And I always tell it the way my uncle told me. And he said to me, some of you, if you know the creation story, Haudenosaunee, the way they tell it, that the sky woman, that our great-great-grandma, gave birth to a daughter, and then her daughter grew up, but there's no humans here, just only her and her goddaughter. But she was pregnant when she came from the other world. And when she became a young woman, she became pregnant, but there's no men around here. So they say that the western wind is the one that pregnate her. That's why all native or indigenous people are related to the Mother Earth, related to the wind, related to thunder, because we're a byproduct of them. Those are really our grandparents. So that's how. So then, when the daughter who was pregnated by the western wind had twin boys, them two boys didn't see eye to eye together. And inside the mother, for 9 months, they push each other and trip each other up and pull each other's ears and whatever. And but the one twin was extra busy all the time doing that. So anyway, when they were born, the Creator gave them each power to identify this planet Earth. That's how come we got Niagara Falls and Grand Canyon and Adirondack Mountains and Rocky Mountains. They're the ones that did all that with their power. And so then they made humans too, because there wasn't humans here except for the mother and the daughter. So when she had the two boy twins and the fathers, the west wind, them two twins were given power from creation and the universe of creation to make the mountains and the animals. And all animals and people that don't have webs between their toes or their feet, we're the Johnny-come-latelys. But all animals that has webs between their toes, they were already here before we got here. And so then when they finished everything, when she gave birth to the twins, the mother passed away from hemorrhaging, because that one wanted to come out here. He didn't want to follow his brother where he came natural way. So the mother passed away. So they put a mound there. And where her head was, corn, beans, and squash grew there, and other kind of things. Where her stomach was, wild onions and wild turnips and all different kind of wild food that you don't have to plant grew there. And different food all over her body from the mound where she was buried. And those things that come from the mound where she was buried, we call it in the Mohawk language, Gilhekwa. Gilhekwa means in English, our sustenance. So when the humans are to be born and created, everything came from the mother's body is our sustenance. And so when they sing those songs for that sustenance, they call Gilhekwa Galona, means the songs of the sustenance. Yeah. So, but anyway, after all of that happened, then my uncle told me that in the mound where our great-grandmother was mounded after her death, after everything grew for a long time, it didn't grow. Then all of a sudden, where her heart was in the mound, in the grave, it grew a plant later than the rest. And then what the Creator said to them, when the humans are going to be made, He says, maybe one time you're going to walk this way, and there's a big stone mountain you can't go past. It blocks you. Well, I'll go to the north, and I can get away. But there's another mountain of stone. Can't get away. Well, I'll go to the west, and there's another mountain. Oh, then I'll go south, and there's another mountain. You're like boxed in, can't go nowhere. And my uncle said, there will be a time in each of your life, every human, even the animals and birds, that's going to happen to you, where you just can't seem to get free. And that's when the Creator told them, that's why from your mother's heart, I gave you this tobacco. I give you this tobacco from your mother. And what does that mean, from your mother's heart? What does a real mother do? If somebody come to hurt your little kid, that mother's going to fight a lion, a bear, or a bull, or anything. You're not going to hurt my kid. And she'll give her life to protect them. More than a man. And she can fight more than a man to protect that kid. And that's why he said, from your mother's heart, the strongest power, I give you this sacred tobacco. So when you're stuck and you can't go anywhere out of it, you will make a sacred fire, or you will use a pipe, and you will put that tobacco in there, and you will cry my name 3 times, and I'll move those mountains, so you will be free. And so all Haudenosaunee people, when they do a ceremony, they use this tobacco. This seeds came from my mother, and it came from her mother, and grandma came from her great-grandmother since the beginning of time. And no matter what army came from Europe, no matter how many missionaries came to change us, my mother and my grandma never stopped. Great-grandma never stopped. Most all Iroquois has never stopped. Even if we got colonized, we still held this, because it came from the beginning of the world. So I was going to let it pass around so you can touch it, you can smell it, you'll see what it is. But we never use Union Leader or any commercial tobacco from America or Canada. We always use the one Grandma gave us. We have to plant it every year. And so when we go far away, someplace in a car, my son and all my relatives, when we have to travel somewhere in the car, before we leave, we put a small little one on the road, on the ground, an offering to the Creator and all the spiritual power, so that my journey of me or my family or myself won't get accident, or deer won't hit us, whatever. And I'm so proud of it, because I only have one son and I have 5 daughters. And every time my son goes somewhere distant, he always does that. And not only does he do it, his kids do it too. So I'm also happy. We call that Oyonkwa. And Oyonkwa is tobacco, but when you say Oyonkwa means the pure or the real one. The same thing when we say Abenaki or Lakota, or anybody who follows the original teaching, we call it Unkwe, the real human. And you say if you wear not this kind of shoes, but old moccasin, we call Achta. But if it's a moccasin, we call Achtakwa Unwe, the real shoe, the real. And then we got also bread we make out of corn called cornbread. And bread we call Gana Dalakunwe, the real bread. It's boiled, not baked, not fried or boiled. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want some Watertown, of course.
Oh, yeah. That sounds good. So anyway, that's what I was talking to you about and share with you about it. But I will tell you that when I was a young guy, we weren't allowed to tell you what I've just told you. Because if we did, sometimes they put them in jail because it was forbidden. They try to kill our spirituality. And so even my own Mohawk people, relatives, a lot of them became Christians. Some is Catholic, most of them are Catholic. Then some of them are Protestant, but they're a little bit, not many. And there's some Mormons over there, not many either. The most was Catholic, I guess. And so when I was young, we can't tell our cousins that we're going to the longhouse. I mean, they know there's longhouse, but we don't tell them because they became Christian. And I don't know why Christian don't like the traditional ceremony. They call it devil worship and sadistic and all, make fun of us. So our grandmother and uncles told us not to talk about it, even to our relatives who became Christian, because they got too mean to us. They said someday they'll wake up and they won't do that. Well, so they have almost all woke up now. They didn't become traditional, but they protect the tradition. So a big change has come, and I'm happy about it. So myself, I'm the one who kind of, I would say, one of the ones in my reservation that dare talk about it outside our longhouse. Before it was, in fact, when I first was invited to do it, I was kind of afraid to do it because I didn't want to get ridiculed by my own people to say, I'll come. But I understand why they forbid us to do it, because they would get beat up or they would get put in jail. Because it was only until 1979, is it 78? Yeah, the United States made a Native American Religious Act in 1978. So that's not too long ago. Before that, you can go to jail if you follow that. Yeah.
Well, White Roots of Peace, Tom, when did you guys start doing that?
Yeah, we started that in 1968. Yeah. White Roots of Peace. We travel all over the country to try to see missionary people of different sects, different kind. It's got money all the time, and they can convert people all the time, and they get paid to do it. But Indian, Hopi, Navajo, we're all poor. We didn't hardly have nothing, so we couldn't counter it. We didn't have the money to do it, so we became extinct. So in '68, myself and others started White Roots of Peace, and we tried to go to all the reservations and say, when you throw that bathwater out, make sure the baby isn't in there. And we did, and it affected lots of people all over the United States and Canada, that White Roots of Peace. It caused a turnaround. Really, it's a little group, but they did a lot of things. I was, in fact, I'm the only one left of the whole group. I'm the last one left. Yeah.
Santa, you, all the other people,
Yeah.
different nations.
Yeah.
How many nations were it, Tom? Like 20 or 40?
Well, sometimes Lakota go with us, sometimes Cree, sometimes Ojibwe, sometimes Choctaw, sometimes Navajo, and different. Yeah, but it was mostly from Akwesasne people that. Yeah. Yes.
So Tom, what you're telling us is so beautiful, and I teach at Albany, and if you go to the website and put in the land acknowledgement or Thanksgiving address, you can see our current students from the Mohawk Nation giving the address in Mohawk on the website, and it's so beautiful. And they're current students there right now.
Yeah.
And each year they recruit more students to they videotape them and they record them speaking Mohawk. So your work is.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing good. They're doing good. Now I say to people, if my age all passes away tomorrow, it's okay, because all those little kids that started in 1979, they're now parents and grandparents themselves. And so if somebody dies, they can do all the ancient rituals of how to do the grieving and the burial of them. If some young man or woman wants to get married, they can use the ancient ritual of marriage and do it. Anything that we need to do are young. So if all our older leaders, my age, pass away tomorrow, we don't have to worry. That younger generation can run the whole nation because of the Freedom School. Yeah.
What you did at Kanatsiohareke, the Carlisle Indian School in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah. But it doesn't happen like this. It's got to have a plan, a strategy, and lots of power. Yeah.
So you wrote a book about your life that I read many years ago, and you talked about when you were sent to a boarding school. Didn't you run away?
No, that was my great-grandfather, the one I was trying to tell you, Paul Biro. He's the one ran away. He was only, I don't know how old he was, maybe 6 or 7. And in the middle of the winter, he left Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to Harrisburg, through the Allegheny Mountains, through the Adirondack Mountains. And you can't go by the road because the police will catch you. So you have to go in the woods through 2 mountain ranges, and he was only 7 in the dead of winter. And he made it back to Akwesasne. So he was there for a little while, and then the government sent it back by train over there. Then he did it again. I think he did it 3 different times. But see, my grandmother was a seer. She worked with herbs and all that because she was like a medicine lady. And she had the ability to see, I don't know if you know in your culture what a seer is. Well, we have those a lot since when I was little. And my mother was like that too. Except my mother was shy. You had to really get to know her before she talked. Like she was shy of people. And she had that also, the ability to see. And she would do it for the family members, but not outside because she was too shy. But my grandmother used to work with other people outside. And I used to do it too one time because my grandmother was always doing it, so it just rubbed off, I guess. And then, but when I got married, my grandmother asked me not to do it anymore. And when I start to have kids, not to do it. Maybe someday when you get old, maybe you can do it again. But because if I do it now, I open myself, my wife, and my kids to target from the people that aren't good. So that's why she told me to quit. But sometime if there's a real emergency, I can try to do it yet, and sometime I can. But my kids have that too. Some of my kids have that. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. But it's been a long road. But that's Paul Biro, the one that ran away from Carlisle. And you know, he told me, he said when he was at Carlisle, that this is my grandma's uncle now. But my grandma's husband also went to school there, see. And when my uncle, my grandma's uncle told me, he said they made an announcement at Carlisle. There's a big leaders coming over there to Carlisle from where the sun goes down. And he don't remember what his name was. And so they set the date when he's going to come. And so they all were outside on the grounds of the Carlisle school. I don't know, a couple hundred. I don't know how many kids went to school there, but they covered the whole lawn over Carlisle. All Indian kids, 4, 5, 6 years old. And my grandpa was taken when he was 4. And he didn't come back home until he was 21. But when he came home, he didn't have no more parents except one uncle living left. So he don't even know nobody in his family except cousins. But older people, they're all dead by the time he came home. But anyway, my grandfather, great-grandfather, he said, so they're all sitting on a big lawn, and there was some like a stage, a certain part of the grounds, where you got to go. There's a stairs in the back. You climb up there, and that's where you talk. So all of a sudden, they're all sitting there, all different nations, and All of a sudden, he said in a corner from the grounds, a noise. There was a noise coming. And there's a big man, Indian man. He has got long hair way down past his waist. And kind of tall guy, too, and big shoulders, too. Of course, little kids, he would be big. So I don't know if he was abnormally big or what. But to a little kid, it was big. And so this man, which he didn't know his name, he said, as he walked through, he don't go straight to the place. He goes like this, and you see a Seneca, the Mohawks, and he go like this. And then he walks some more, and he goes like this, or Potawatomis or Ojibwe. And he goes more like this as a Choctaw kids. So he made it a point to touch their head and their shoulders. And he also touched my grandfather's head. And when he touched my grandfather's head, my grandfather looked at him. He had big cheekbones right here, and tears coming down. And when the soldiers who were with him took him to where he was supposed to talk, they didn't tell him there's a stairs on the back. And it was over 6 foot tall from the top to the stage to the ground. And when that old man that came from the sunset came over there, he didn't run and walk. He just pop, and he jumped 6 foot on top of the stage because he didn't know that you're supposed to go in the back and go up the stair. And then he talked to the kids. And then he said, here's what he said to them. This is what my grandfather said. I don't know how accurate it is. He says, you and me, he's point to the kids, and me. We are the real, the red, the white, and the blue. Not them. And he pointed to the soldiers. Not them. We are the real red, white, and the blue. That's all he said. And he left. And then, but that's what my grandpa told me. So after that, I was wondering, who's this Indian guy from the sunset? So as I was going to school, I used to go to the library and try to find out, who's this guy? Well, later on, I ran into a book, and somebody told me, and it was of Chief Joseph from the Nez Perce. It was Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce. Okay, that's what I thought. I surmised this, but I can't prove really, because Grandpa didn't know his name. Well, later on when I got married, which was 55 years ago, a couple of years after I got married, me and my wife, we went to Harrisburg and go to Carlisle, because I heard them talking about it. I want to go see what it looks like. And so I went over there, and I told the lady, I think her name was Barbara, she was trying to do, this was on a computer, were just coming into existence. Who?
Barbara Landis.
Yeah, that's the one, Barbara. You know her?
Yeah, I work with him.
Oh, yeah, she's the one sent me, maybe a month or two later, she was trying to compile all the information on the computers about the Indians that went to school there. And so I told her, and later on, she's the one that sent me photographs of Chief Joseph visits Carlisle Indian School. Now it's documented. Yeah.
I will fight no more forever.
Yeah. And also, she's the one that told me he's the one that ran away successfully from the Carlisle back to the reservation. But he did it a couple of times, maybe 3 times. I don't even remember. Is she living yet, that lady?
She's still around.
She's still there. She must be elderly now. Yeah.
Carlisle Historical Society.
Yeah. Anyways, when I went there, I seen all the graves of little kids from all the nations, one after another. And I read them. And I didn't find no Mohawk there at all. And there was lots of Mohawks went there. Lots. All my grandpa's cousins were gone there. But I didn't see one grave of that. I seen Cheyennes, I seen Arapaho, I seen I said, everybody, Chipaway, everybody. So when I came home, I said to my grandma, I said, I seen all the graves of all the little kids that died at Carlisle. I says, and I know that Grandpa and all his cousins went there, and some of them died there too. And I said, but I ain't seen none of their grave. Oh, she says, that's not surprising. She says, because Akwesasne Mohawk people, when somebody dies, no matter where they are in the world, no matter how poor we are, we always go get them and bring them home. That's why you don't see no grave over there with the Mohawk. Yeah. So she answered my question.
So were there other children from like the Onondagas?
Oh yeah, Senecas, Onondagas, every Indian, the whole across the United States were sent there.
I knew they were from out west, but I didn't realize
Oh yeah.
they were from our area.
Oh, lots of them were. Yeah. And then later on, they made another school in Cattaraugus Seneca Reservation called Thomas Indian School. It's the same thing. Yeah, same thing. And there was a man that used to come live with me at Mohawk Valley in Kanatsiohareke. His name was Ron Stiers. And he used to be the one that cut the grass and did the mowing and trimmed the apple trees and cherry tree and peach trees we have. And he helped me. So he came every spring and stayed with us all summer for more than 20 years. And when snow comes, he goes back to St. Catharines, Canada. He was an alcoholic. But when he came to Kanatsiohareke, he never touched a drop. Not once in 20 years. It was life-saving for him because he looked at me and my wife and my kids as his kids. And like my grandkids were his grandkids. And my wife and I, we cook old-fashioned Indian food, and he loves that. So always he was with us. Anyways, in Canada, the residential school, they paid each Indian kid $39,000 for the trauma that they went through in Canada. So he got $39,000 from it. But if he was living now, he'd be in his 90s, I think, if he was living, I think. Because he was 85, I think, that time. He was still at Kanatsiohareke. And so he got $39,000, but then he had to go to court again in London, Ontario. And he asked me, he says, Tom, he says, can you go with me? He says, I got to go to another court. He says, because I was raped when I went to school over there. And so they're going to give extra money for those that got raped. And he says, so if you can go with me, he says, stand with me. I said, okay. So we went over there to London, Ontario. It wasn't in a court, it was a hotel. And the hotel room, the judge came in there. And so that's where the court was. I guess they try to make it as not so dramatic. And make it, yeah. And so then the judge stood and I stand by Ron. And Ron told him what happened. And he said, Mr. Stiers, can you repeat that? He got so mad, Ron got so mad, he swore, really swore, he really swore hard, and he said, the hell's wrong with you? Aren't you listen first time I tell you? Because it was hard time first one, now he wants him to say it again. So he got mad at the judge. I thought the judge was going to throw him out, because he really swore at the judge. But the judge didn't get mad. He kind of understood, which means he's a good judge, I guess. So then after that, he asked me, he says, well, Mr. Porter, do you have something to say? Do you have something to add to this? Because you're with him. I says, well, I'm going to tell you. I said, this is like my brother, this man. He's like my brother. And I says, I know one thing. Because he went to that school and went through all that stuff that he told you, I says, and what you did to him, you robbed this man of how to have a true feelings of a human being. So he doesn't know when to cry or how to cry. He doesn't know how to be a father, a real father to his kids. He don't know how to be a real husband to his wife. He don't know when he's supposed to smile and be happy. Everything's mixed up. So he doesn't show compassion to his, and he has about 6, 7, 8 kids, and he really don't know how to be a father to them. I mean, he supported them, but he wasn't there to hold them, to hug them, or he was real distant, even to his grandkids. But when he came to Kanatsiohareke, he was compassionate to us because we were kind to him. And all my grandkids, he would buy them stuff, and he would talk to them and laugh with them. And so for 20 years, he started to get back to be human again at Kanatsiohareke. And then he developed a cancer in his brain. So before he died, he asked me, he says, when I die, he says, I want you to come and do the service for me and the burial for me, he said. And he named another guy, and we're going to work together. And that's what we did. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, they're going to bring us prime steak?
It's like great grandfather. The pizza's here.
Yeah. So he was a Cayuga man from 6 Nations. Cayuga. He talked fluent Cayuga. Even though he went to school, he never forgot his language. Yeah. And he was an expert. He used to work at the fruit farms in the Niagara region where peaches grow and cherries and all that. And so he knew how to trim the trees, and he knew how to plant it, he knew how to do all that. So he helped us a lot in Kanatsiohareke, really helped us a lot. And he said, the last couple of years he was with me, he says, Tom, too bad we're not 30 years younger. He said, Kanatsiohareke, we will make it a real producing farm. But anyways, does anybody have any remark or question? Yeah?
So I just wanted to ask you, so it's 2025, at the Freedom School, the kids that are graduating, how do you see them balancing colonization and their traditions? Is that a hard, am I saying it right?
They're really, because they know the truth. The trick is to know the truth and to face it head on. And then each one has their own time schedule as to how they balance it out. But you got to have the truth, and then whatever time each individual has, you just got to allow them to do the balancing acts. They got to do it themselves. But the truth has to be offered to them. See, like what the government's doing now, where they're forbidding Black history and Indian history, that's so wrong. That's so primitive, because you cannot heal by throwing the skeleton in a closet. It's gotta breathe. And everything's got to be respected. Everything's got to be respected.
Just to follow that up, is there anything that the nation can do with those kids to have a better preparation or welcome when those kids go to high school? In other words, if we were faced with a group of students that had a different cultural background, and you'd expect the school district to somehow prep the teachers, prep the kids. Have you had any luck with something like that?
Yeah, because they've noticed. So now all the schools where we live, surrounding the reservation, that's basically Salmon River and Massena Central, are the 2 main ones, and Cornwall, Canada. They have all incorporated Native Studies teachings there, and also the Mohawk language. Not all day, but I don't know if it's maybe twice, huh?
That's real progress.
Yeah, it is real progress, because before we used to be physically punished. I know when I went to school, we would still get smacked right on the head or hit with that old-fashioned oak ruler, and they weren't bashful to do it either in my day. But the next generation after me, all could talk English, so they don't have to hit them anymore because they're now talking English. But when I went to school, probably I would venture to say maybe 70 or 80% of the kids were all fluent speakers. And some of the kids in the class, when I first started, couldn't even understand English at all. But the next generation, it just takes one generation to forget.
Yeah, Salmon River has a number of native teachers in the special language classes. Every time I go up there, I'm always happy to see those things happen.
Yeah.
Those kids are so good.
But mostly it's because myself and others, mostly me, who spearheaded that, because I used to fight the principal and the superintendent physically. We'd get in fights because I would defend our history and our culture. And so then they invite me to go there to go view the Title IV, Title whatever they call it. And I said, you speed it out of us and now you're teaching it. What's wrong with you people? But I was proud that they did anyway. But it's kind of funny because a few years ago it's against the law, and now it's okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember, this is a funny story. I don't know if you should put it on here though, but, or not. But I'm gonna anyway. I don't care. I'm old now. There's a word in Mohawk language. When you say squaw, you don't dare say that to Akwesasne woman. You don't dare say that. That's fighting words, especially my mother. Oh, my mother was, she could take a man on. If the kids are involved, she'll defend them. And but if you say squaw to the Mohawk woman, you're going to get a fight. Yeah. And so anyway, in school, at the Mohawk school, almost the whole class, we all can talk Mohawk real good too. And and this was now, I think we were 6th grade by that time. And we used to have a teacher named Ray Fadden. Some of you probably know about him. Ray Fadden. He was married to my aunt, my mother's sister. And he used to tell us always to be proud that we're Mohawks, and also be proud of our clan. And he used to tell us, don't lose to talk Mohawk too. And everything that he would always encourage us. And he was a science teacher at the Mohawk school. And he used to draw pictures on a wall about the history and all that. And the principal would paint right over it and admonished him for trying to make us feel proud. And eventually he got fired over there. Why am I telling you this though? Oh yeah. Oh, so then he left, and then they hired some lady. I think she was from Illinois, and she had a red hair, like auburn hair, not a red, but and she had kind of long hair, and all her hair is like a tubes. I don't know, ringlets. Is that what you call it? And she was looks like a movie star woman. And we all kind of fell in love with her. And I don't think she was married either. But anyway, she's the first time any of the teachers made us feel good too, besides Ray Fadden. All the other teachers we weren't close to them. It was a dredge just to go to their class or whatever. And but her, she was different. She's from Illinois, way far. And she would talk to us, and she would this and that. And she wanted to be friends with us, which was way different, because no teacher did that before. So all of a sudden, she had the book, Prose and Poetry or something, because she was like English teacher. Her name was Mrs. Gravy or Mrs. Carvey. I can't remember the name. And all of a sudden, she's talking about the book. And as she's talking about the book, and then she says, and there's some interested in there, it's talking about the squaws was by the river, washing clothes on the rocks or something like that. All Mohawks look at her. All the squaws washing clothes. And geez, all my cousins, we said, what that woman said, did you hear that? Yeah. So we all got shocked, real shocked. So we said, if my mother heard that or my grandma heard that, she's going to come here. She's going to grab her on her squaw and mop the floor with that. That's what I told my cousin. I know, she says too, my mother too. And he said, well, she's a nice lady. We don't want her to get in trouble. So we better tell her not to say that anymore. And we should ask each other, how do you say squaw in English? we didn't even know that yet. And this is 6th grade, and we still don't know what a squaw is in English. And so he says, well, if we don't know, we know what squaw is, but we don't know how to say it in English. And I don't, who dares to say that to her? So we got a piece of paper. It was a joint effort. And we all tried to draw a squaw. So we don't have to say it to her. And we finished drawing what we thought was a squaw. And then we fill it up, we bend it half, and then bend it again, and bend it again, until that whole sheet was just little tiny paper, all folded up. And then when there was some kind of break, and she went out there, and we are all facing this way, and her desk is in the back. So she looks at us all the time, but we don't see her. So when she went out to get I don't know where she went, so we have our own. So we took that little paper with the squaw drawn on it, and we put it on her desk, right there. And so after she came back, nobody dared turn around. And all of a sudden, she started taking the paper apart. We could hear it. And we're holding our breath because we don't know what she's going to kill us or what. And then there was after there's no noise, no more paper making noise, then there was a silence. And she don't move, and we don't move, like a dead. And then all of a sudden, she comes to the front of the class. Big tears coming down her face. And she says, I'm so sorry. He said, we from the America people, we must hurt you as Indians so much, and we don't even know it. And we hurt you. Did you cry? And then she says, I'm sorry. And I'll never say that again. And then she hugged us. No teacher ever did that. No teacher ever showed us that they cared or they had respect for us. But she did. And we really liked her. Yeah. I don't know if she went back to Illinois or what happened to her, but she was a real nice lady.
Beautiful story.
I wonder if she kept the picture.
Huh?
I wonder if she kept the picture.
No, she probably weren't. So did you know what a squaw was now? In Mohawk, squaw, that's in between Woman's Lakes. So when non-native said we're going to reservation to get squaw, that's exactly what they're talking about. That would be Trump saying that. He will talk about it. No, it's just, I think in their language it's a woman, but not in our language.
It's a feminine ending, but it's not spelled the same.
Oh.
It's completely changed. Just like, the word for black, Negro became
Yeah,
that word.
yeah.
We feel the same way about it. I was many people.
Yeah.
How it's been used
Yeah,
against people.
yeah,
Making less than we see.
yeah. So there's a lots of things that's got to be done. But most of it has to do with telling the truth. And then once you find the truth, then you know, well, you don't say it anymore, like what that lady did. She didn't know she was doing wrong. I often wonder if she's still living or not. Maybe. Well, it was a glass effort. Yeah,
Didn't think I'd do that.
yeah. And we didn't want our grandma to know, because she would go there.
You were protecting
Yeah, I know.
everyone.
This is why Mario Coleman did.
Oh, no, wait. No, there's another part of that story I forgot. Because this is, oh, Jesus, 75 years ago or more than that now. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's only 70 years ago. And, oh, no. Oh, when I got home one time, my grandmother asked me, what did I learn today? I said, oh, I didn't learn nothing. That was shortly after this incident. And I said, oh, no. Oh, and because my grandmother's a seer, so she knows things. And she says, no, something happened at school. What happened at school? I said, oh, nothing happened at school. She says, don't say that to me. If something did happen, I know. And well, I know she's a seer, so I finally told her what happened. And she says, that's the one why we did that picture. Because she told me, you tell her not to say that anymore. If she don't say that, if she says it some more, I'm going to go see her. And that means that she could mop her around. That's how I told my cousins what Grandma said. And they said, well, we better do something then before Grandma does come here. And my grandmother can never talk English either. She never went to school in her life. Yeah. But any other question or anything?
Way back in the beginning, you mentioned that a long time ago when you went to the Longhouse, there would only be a small amount of people. But did you ever finish it and say what happens now? Do you still go to a Longhouse?
Oh, now the Longhouse is packed. When we go to the Longhouse, it holds about 500 or 600 people at one ceremony. It's packed. You can't even find a chair to sit down right now. But it took us 60 years of strategy. Like I said, you just don't do this and it gets better. You've got to dig in. You've got to re-educate, and you got to take the time to do it, because different people are at different levels. So you have to be ready at their level and to communicate to them. Otherwise, it goes over or they block if you don't do it right. And that's why teachers are so important, to be able to read that, the students, because every student, if there's 20, they're all at different. And so sometimes you got to dance for them, get their attention. Sometimes you got to tell a joke for them, until you get there, and then you can give them something knowledge. You see, it's not an easy job, yeah. But today, like I said, if all my age passes away tomorrow, I got no worry that the young people can, in our language, conduct everything, and we've got great singers, old ancient songs, got great singers, yeah. So we did all that we could to stop the extinction. We did, yeah. And so when they built the Freedom School, but in a way, I don't know how many marijuana shops we got over there in Akwesasne. We got probably 200. There's a lot. I'm not proud of it. I'm not saying nothing bad about it either, but I'm not proud of it, because that's not what we're supposed to be doing. But some people making money out of it, I guess business or whatever, I don't know all the history of it, but we're not supposed to really be doing that traditionally. And so it kind of hurts me a little bit, that part. But some of them are my own close relatives that's doing that, so I can't be too harsh either. So it's a balancing act, I guess. And maybe they'll wake up too, sometime.
Oh, you're selling cannabis, is that what you
Oh yeah, all over the place.
shared, and it's making me wonder, because I've been up at Akwesasne several times with Seven Dancers Coalition.
Oh, yeah.
And I was invited to participate in a women's sweat lodge, which I did a few times. And I was wondering how you feel about that ceremony being shared with non-Indigenous. You know, I mean, we're all, like you said,
Indigenous, sometimes, someplace, sometimes, yeah.
Many years
Yeah.
back.
No.
Do you feel okay about that? 'Cause
No, I'm okay as long as people are sincere and are truthful, then I got no problem.
and it's,
But if they're doing it just because they want to make money or they want to just showboating, then it's not right. So anything that's true, is sincere and honest, then I got no problem. In fact, I'm probably one of the first ones of the Iroquois to open that door with that attitude. And then once I opened it, others opened it some more.
yeah, the first ones I did were in Binghamton with Lakota, a man who led us.
Lakota?
A Lakota.
Oh, a Lakota man. Oh, yeah.
He brought it to Binghamton to a group of young people and opened up the ceremony for us. He wasn't making money from it.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
sharing the medicine with us.
Yeah,
It was an honor. It's always been an honor to be offered that.
yeah.
I don't feel like as a Italian American person, like I would never initiate it. I feel like that's I have to find my own traditions from my own ancestors.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I tell people myself too. It's because I tell if you want to reconnect spiritually from the colonization, like for the European descendant people, I said to them, we can explain the ceremony for the sun. Lakota can too, and Cheyenne can too, because they're all different. But it's all for the sun. It's the same. So, although they talk a different language and they sing a different song, but don't matter because it's for the sun. That's the main thing. So there's no griping about that. Same thing with the thunder ceremony. Lakota have different than us, and Hopi has different than us, and Choctaw is different. There's no complaint about that because it's different. It's because it's for the thunder. So when American people or European descents, we said don't try to become a Mohawk, but what we can explain to you why we have a sun ceremony. Then you have to fast. You have to meditate yourself and reconnect with the sun, the power and the spirit of sun, and that sun can send you the dream of what will appease them, and it will be real, true you. But if you just try to do it Mohawk, you're not a Mohawk. We can just guide you how to reestablish that relationship. The same with the Mother Earth too, and you know. So that's how we do it. So our job isn't to convert people; it's just to reconnect with the Mother Earth, things that gives you life and makes you live it. That's all it is. It's so simple.
Tom, Kanatsiohareke works in two ways. One, it's reconnecting the Mohawk and Indigenous people, but also it's showing for non-Indigenous people how to reconnect.
Yeah.
So that you are Carlos and he's going by, you're teaching them as opposed to them forcing you to learn their way.
Yeah, yeah. I sometime next week they're going to give me some kind of a recognition award or something at Six Nations. They send a film crew to my house in Akwesasne, and they're going to show it over there too. I'm not really sure what it's really about, but they asked me what I think about it. That they want to give me this achievement award. I'm not really sure what it is. And I said, you don't have to do that. It's not necessary. In fact, sometimes I'm so embarrassed about it. And I said, but I was taught not to say no to people, just to do my best. That's what I was taught by the elders. And I says, so I'll go there, and I don't want to hurt you or nothing, so I'm not going to say no. I says, but then I name all of them, Jake Thomas and Roy Buck and Leon Shenandoah and all those old Josie Logan and Corbett Sundown and all of them. Those were all my teachers since I was young. And so I'm only doing what they told me to do and what they taught me to do. And so when I get this, whatever it is, it's because of them. That's their doings.
When you say Six Nations, you mean the museum?
No, the reserve. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you were talking about Fadden before, I was thinking of the place that they have.
Yeah.
All the things he put on the ceilings and the walls.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything, and how we're hoping to build a building around that to save that.
Yeah. Now this Freedom School, where we built the Freedom School, where is a very toxic poison there because of Alcoa Aluminum Company, right on the border, and General Motors with PCBs, and General Motors, and the other Alcoa in Massena. And all the wind and water goes east. So all the pollution goes on the Indian reservation. And also that's where the Freedom School was built, right closest to them. That was in '79 we built it. So now, for the first time, Elvira Sargent heads the called Friends of the Freedom School. So they're going to build a new Freedom School now because the old one's got mold in it and all kind of stuff. And it's just we just built it just by ourselves, a bunch of young guys, and they're still going, still doing it. So then we said the parents said, okay, let's see if we can build another school on the other end of the reservation where there's less pollution. And it's projected $5 million. Going to have to raise $5 million to build this school. And so, and it used to be the elected tribal was imposed by the United States government to get rid of the traditional leaders, and we always had conflict. But a few years ago, some of our traditional people ran in the election, even though we're not supposed to, and so it kind of, the tribe, they run the casino and other stuff. So the first year, I think they donated $1 million towards that $5 million to build that new school. And then the next year, they donate another $1 million. And then the Canadian side donated $500,000. So now that's $2.5 million. That's half of $5 million. So they construct everything looks nice on the outside, but the inside wasn't. So they ran out of money. They ran at $2.5 million. So everything have to stop because they can't pay the contractors or whatever to do it. And everything is modern, so it's not like the way we would build it, because it's got all kind of stuff, modern wire all over the place and heat and stuff. So anyway, so Elvira and Friends of the Freedom School negotiated with the bank, and the bank won't loan anybody on an Indian reservation because they can't mortgage the land or the whatever. But they did some negotiate with them. Somehow they were able to convince the bank to loan them the other $2.5 million, but they put it up to mortgage the school. So now maybe by December, the kids might be able to go into the school now. But it's the first time they're going to have shower, they're going to have a cafeteria, and they're going to have like where schools have for the first time. Yeah. And so I told Freedom School, I said, I'm going to give you two years of my life. I says, but you be the agent, and you fix a schedule of colleges, universities in San Francisco and the whole California and Washington, Oregon through there. And maybe 1 month I'm gone, and I'll do workshops. And whatever we make, it'll help pay that mortgage. But 2 years, that's 1 year gone by now, and I got 1 more year. But they don't know how to do agent. They don't know how to do that. So 1 year is gone. So I got some other people that's going to try to connect so that I can get busy to help them pay the mortgage. Yeah, so, but it's been going for 40-something years. So they're doing good.
Is
Yeah.
there a way that other people can help support that? Is there a place online that people can donate?
I'm not really, there probably is, it's just that
When Kay was here, she talked about.
yeah, Kay.
That every year the quilt is done, and the quilt is meant to be a way of raising.
Yeah,
money
yeah.
for Freedom School, but also attracting attention to what's going on with
Yeah,
Freedom School.
yeah,
So that would be another reason.
yeah,
There's a Facebook page, Friends of the Freedom School.
yeah.
That's a good way to share it.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'll do that.
Yeah.
we better start making more quilts.
You know, and Rockefeller was my friend too. And she used to donate to Kanatsiohareke. Yeah, but she passed away now too. She would have probably helped too, you know. She was a real nice lady, real nice lady.
I think it's getting the word out, Tom, because not a lot of people know about it.
Yeah,
And I think right now in particular, a lot of people would want to do something, because there's so little positive happening in the national conversation.
yeah.
But this is something that is so positive, and so real.
Yeah. So I just came back from Oklahoma, the Creek people, that Philip Deere, the old man that Philip Deere, his son, Bonnie, his name is Bonnie, they had a traditional gathering there. So they called me up to go there, and they said, can you bring one young guy with you? And they asked each elder to bring one young guy. I took 5. The youngest was 4 months old. And the other one was 2 years, not even yet 2 years old, but he can talk Mohawk. That little boy, yeah. And the other 2 young guys, they're in their 20s. That's the one guy is Levi. That's his 2 kids. They just talk Mohawk mostly. And the other one is my nephew, and he talks Mohawk too. And then my other nephew married she's a Seminole, part American. And they got 2 little kids, and they just talk Mohawk all the time, every day. And they work with growing food and stuff like that. They work like with the Freedom. He went to the Freedom School. Both these guys did too. So even his Seminole woman is fluent in Mohawk too, because the 2 kids goes to the Mohawk nest, and so the mother goes there to learn with him, and so she's fluent now, pretty near fluent. Yeah. So that's why I say, if you're going to do something, you've got to take a lot of strategic plan and follow through. That's how you do it. You can't just wish for it. No Tinkerbell. Anyways, I think maybe that's probably enough for now. Unless you got another question?
I have one thing I'd like to say. I think that we should all be grateful and thank God for Tom Ford.